Hi, I'm Sebastian from Yesports, and this is 26 Questions with Sebastian.
As always, don't forget to subscribe because there's a lot of cool stuff coming your way. Smash that like button and use the sign up link down below to get 20% off your trading fees with Nexi.com once you sign up. Hi Sebastian, welcome to the interview. Super excited to have you today. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well. I'm delighted to be here.
Awesome. So our community is interested in your project. They have some questions that they would like to ask you. So whenever you're ready, we can just go ahead one by one.
Yeah, terrific. Let's do it.
Question number one. You have mentioned that Yesports is the world's first Web 3.0 esports engagement platform. Can you explain what W3EP means in a detailed way?
Yes, with pleasure. So we discovered, with our journey dealing with some of the largest esports teams in the world, that they really wanted to engage their fans in the Web3 setting. So whether it was through NFTs or play-to-earn games or even in a Metaverse. And so a lot of the teams that we've worked with came and asked us how we could assist them to deliver such an engagement platform for them, for their fans. So that's what sparked the concept of Web3 engagement platform. And it really allows us to do sort of four critical things, for esports teams. It's the sort of esports Web3 white glove service. It's the NFT design and go-to-market product. It's then the NFT marketplace with storefronts that esports teams and their fans interact. And then probably most excitingly, it's then the Metaverse becomes the esports focused Metaverse where teams, players, fans, the partner projects and sponsors are able to sort of congregate and interact with one another in a setting that yet hasn't been done before.
Awesome. Thank you for the detailed explanation. Question number two. What do you think about the current and future NFT space? Is there a place for esports?
Well, yes, there is absolutely a place for it. I think, we are in sort of the starting point, really, the nascent stages of NFTs generally. People are really writing the stories. We want to build the utility NFT standard for gaming and esports for the whole of the industry. That will add value to gamers and fans now and over the long term. So, when we look at that, we can see everything that's just on the horizon, including things like, the Web2 brands, the gamify companies, the play-to-earn products, the curated Metaverse products that exist. And we're starting to see how they could take shape, in a Web3 esports gamer-centric setting. So we believe Yesports is the perfect place for that to exist. And we're super excited with our partners to deliver that to the market.
Question number three. Tell us about the different NFT products your team offers.
Sure. So at its base level, the NFT marketplace or the esports marketplace makes it possible for teams to mint and sell their NFTs. Each team will have their own NFT storefront within the marketplace where fans can actually purchase and trade these NFTs. And they can be done in a couple of ways. Firstly, we've conceptualized this thing called the NFT Access Card Pack, which is basically the first kind of utility-driven NFT for esports and gaming that exists, where the fans can go in and buy the different packs and then have different chances of winning rarer traits. And those traits, relate to the types of utility that NFT will have in how that fan is then able to interact with their team. The second thing is that we're going to have one-of-a-kind NFTs. This is kind of, your super fan or super member type NFTs. We've designed these with our, initial team partners, and they'll have utility beyond just the ownership as well. They'll have access to even rarer things like, super rare drops. We'll have significant discounts on merchandise and fan experiences within each of the teams. That this is a product that is, of great interest to a number of those teams and is being designed quite closely with them. Then obviously the things that fans can do with those NFTs is they'll be able to then trade them in the general market or the secondary market, both on Yesports and elsewhere. Each of the, as I mentioned, and this is kind of the center point for us, is that each of these utility NFTs will be utility first. Every NFT will unlock value for each of the fans, both now and over the long term. So that's quite important to us and to the teams we're working with, and very excited to bring that product out to the market.
Splendid. Very well. Question number 4. Private team metaverse is mentioned on your website. What do you mean by private team metaverse, and how can it be beneficial for users?
Yeah, great question. Metaverse is still being defined across the market, and we're very excited to be a vocal and leading voice in how it's going to be defined and then subsequently built. We're conceptualizing with our teams a metaverse that allows our fans to be able to purchase part of a digital land, with their teams. For example, teams will have stadiums, the fans will have access to the village environment around the stadium, into the stadium, apartments near the stadiums, clubhouses, etc. Some of the activities that fans will be able to undertake within the metaverse environment is going to be physically, or rather within a metaverse setting, watching the teams play their games in tournaments, one-on-one events, having access to digital storefronts to be able to purchase the digital memorabilia, the digital goods being sold by the teams and their partners. We think about this really as the starting point for a much closer, much richer, much more tactile fan engagement for esports teams whose fan base sort of spans the globe. So we can sort of see things like Decentraland and Sandbox currently, and we're sort of building on top of that concept and really refining it to make it exceptionally esports and gamer focused.
Yeah, right. That's actually one of the things that popped into my head, kind of the similarities that you mentioned with Decentraland and Sandbox. Okay, outstanding. Very well. Now moving on with the rest of the questions from the community. Question number 5. Tell me about the art on your NFTs. Does it come from a game or mythological?
Look, where it comes from, sort of both. We're heavily influenced by the game. We have a team of top tier artists that embed themselves within each of the esports teams. Depending on the level of the creative depth of those teams. Some for example, have tremendous creative teams that we work with to refine ideas. Others were able to go in there and pull out, some of the great concepts from, not only the team itself and, lean into as much of the mythology of the game as possible. And that will inform the products that come out. And we're excited to show those when they're, getting released.
Splendid. Okay, question number 6. Among your objectives, one of them is to incorporate the next 500 million esports enthusiasts to Web 3.0. Can you mention 3 strategies to achieve these objectives, and how long do you plan to achieve it?
Yeah, great question. Strategy 1, you have to build great products that matter. This has to be something that is exciting, it's sustainable and long-term for both the fans and the teams. They're built on the Web3 technology. The second part is really leaning into the actual market. The gamer market is 500 million people strong, and the crypto market is 300 million strong. So we lean on both of those partner channels that we have. So, already 5 terrific, globally recognized teams that we're working with, many more in the pipeline that we'll be working with. So we lean on them as a partner channel and, work with them to deliver our product to their users and fans. And then secondly, the second part of that is with the actual technology providers themselves. So Polygon, huge supporter of ours, has opened up the gate to all of their user base. They're going to be, driving our message to their users. We'll be joint marketing, things like that. So it's incredibly important to bring both the crypto and the gamer and NFT communities together. And then the third piece of the puzzle for us is really, leaning into our partner VC networks. So our investors, our VC partners have, a huge array of gaming companies that they are either, invested into or own or have a, significant, interest in. And so again, we sort of activate those channels and seek to solve a key problem that's, we're solving a problem not just for their fans, but also, for these VC portfolio companies as well. So that allows us to partner with a huge variety of other partners, including game publishers, games themselves, and so on.
Right. Okay, awesome. Question number 7. Will there be gaming elements to the eventual esports metaverse?
Yeah, definitely. Look, we're looking into, some of the exciting products there. Play to earn is a huge part of the market now. That's not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. And also casual games are super fun, super engaging to create. And we'd love to see, that built out in the metaverse setting as well.
Nice. Question number 8. How will you market these NFT products that you manage, and how can we buy them?
Yeah, great. So, I mean, part of the marketing I touched on about how we sort of channel out across our esports team partners, across our, crypto platform partners, and then our sort of investor VC portfolio partners. So that, that's the three broad buckets of categories, where we'll be marketing. How you can buy it, we're going to be a, fully sort of integrated NFT marketplace. So, fans are able to log in, connect their wallets and purchase on our website or on the marketplace, and then, resell, etc. There as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And for now, basically, what they can do is join the news and updates, right? To stay updated once that possibility opens up. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, track us on the socials, and it'll be over the next 2 or so months, from March.
Okay, great. Cool. Moving on with the next question. What will it cost to get a hold of these NFTs?
Yeah, I mean, we want it to be as accessible as possible. So we have part of our features is that there will be NFTs that people can win, so costless. We want to make it as engaging as possible. So there'll be things like giveaways. There'll be, interesting tech that we've built that allow people to utilize our token and win some of the NFTs. And then the ones that, eventually do become for sale by the team partners, is really a joint discussion. So we have some suggestions for them on what we have seen working, what we know would work, and they sort of, will tell us basically their view on what they want to do with their fan bases, and, we support them through that. So, the idea is with all the technology, and the reason we've built it the way we have is to make it as accessible and as easy as possible and as fun to get them.
All right, question number 10. Will other NFTs be available to trade on your marketplace?
Yeah, look, initially, we're heavily focused on building a curated marketplace. We've got terrific designers, artists, and the teams themselves have built, some really beautiful, thoughtful NFTs. And so initially it'll be, a curated closed marketplace, but over time, especially in that secondary market, it becomes really important that we, don't want to limit, trading of any esports or gamer related NFT. So, we certainly have built it, and will continue to build out features to make that as possible, as easy as possible for anyone to trade gaming or esports related NFTs with us.
Okay, user experience is a very important issue in most projects. Does Yesports focus on this, and what has Yesports done to bring the best user experience, especially to new users?
This is probably the question that we spend the most time internally making sure we have a great tech solution for. The gamer market is a market that we want to bring the power of our technology to them. So we want to make it as easy as possible for any user anywhere in the world to intuitively understand how to access, purchase, and then trade and use the NFTs that they buy. And so, we want to continue to build that. Education is important. Great technology that is user-friendly is important.
I wonder if the Yesports platform is specifically for gamers or non-gamer users. Can you tell us more about the Yesports target audience?
Yeah, look, definitely, and even in the name, esports and gamers are sort of mission critical. But I would say that there is this evolving class of users that is a kind of crypto gamer. And so, this is this group that we've done studies internally, also with our teams, and they're telling us that, 40 or 50% of their fan bases is both very familiar with crypto and very, big supporters of their esports teams themselves. And so that sort of overlapping demographic becomes sort of the core demographic one for us. So people who are already familiar with the infrastructure of crypto, understand, why NFTs, what they are, and then also understand how they can be applied into the gaming and esports world. We then use those, use that learning that we have from building products to that market to continue to make it as easy as possible for gamers who haven't really done much in crypto to come in and do stuff, or crypto users that haven't really thought about the play to earn or the gamer metaverse and esports markets, and create a platform that's quite interesting for them as well.
Right. Yeah. So basically combining the two from both worlds.
Yeah, definitely. And this is where the market's going, and we want to tell that story.
How does market fluctuations impact esports given the space it's in?
My history was in building a DeFi company, and we've seen what happens when the markets go down for fluctuating DeFi products. But NFTs and GameFi sort of is detaching itself from the fluctuations that are sort of permeating the kind of traditional crypto markets. So there's incredible tailwinds supporting both the GameFi and NFT space, and then more broadly the gaming space as well. So our focus is building products that are here now and will last long term, and it's the market kind of momentum is still exceptionally strong in terms of the fundamentals that will support us and the markets that we're growing into. So we think troubling markets for other projects is a concern, but for us with a great product and a great team, there's only a time to a continual opportunity to expand what we're doing.
What about the native token of Yesports? What is the role of Yesp?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to us. So yeah, there's a couple of core utilities that we'll have. First is going to be around the access or whitelist for the NFT drops. The second is blending in some of the DeFi aspects that we know work. So that's having staking of the Yes token and the Yes reward. It's a rewards for folks that are staking it. For example, the right to win NFTs. We're going to have over time, a voting and governance structure, so that will allow for a lot more community voice to be heard in terms of how certain products are built. And we see that becoming especially interesting when you're starting to contemplate the almost limitless opportunity that exists when you're building in a metaverse setting. The fourth is kind of a tried and true method, which is a discount on the actual transaction fees on the platforms as well. And then over time, it's not so much a utility, but it's more of a feature that will exist with the token and the tokenomics itself. And that's basically will be the sort of buyback and burn function, where a proportion of the transaction fees will continually be used to buy back tokens and burn them. So, it's just a blend of what we see as really important utility features from across the space, mixed in with, critical things for us for how we want users to be engaging with the platform.
Solid. Yep, that's very good. Okay, question number 15. As I understand now, you only have one token for Yesports. Will there be other products?
Look, in terms of tokens, it's not contemplated really to launch any more other than the Yes token. What we are looking at in terms of products, so we certainly recognize the increasing growth in the play-to-earn market. We're seeing this sort of evolution of the crypto gamer market, and we see that there's some great products there. For example, conceptualizing sort of a fan token within a play-to-earn space. We also see that there could be a world where you have play-to-earn type tournaments, representative, looking and feeling a lot more like what's very typical in esports. We see these huge fan bases. There's not yet a place where they're really sort of demonstrating kind of prowess, especially in the kind of play-to-earn games that are much more skillful than not. So there's a lot of exciting kind of roadmap for where the product goes. Touched on what we can do in the metaverse, but certainly there are some other ideas in how we could build products that would allow for even more utility for the token as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay, great. Question number 16. Do you have an ambassador program available? If yes, how can I join it?
We would love to speak to anyone who's interested. Get in touch on our socials and flag your interest. We know that the community is what drives this, and so if there's passionate members out there that are interested in contributing, we'd love to hear from them. So Telegram, Twitter, Discord, just follow us and get in touch.
Right, and we of course will drop the links down in the description box for anyone who's watching and who's interested to checking that out more. Okay, question number 17. Are you planning to promote your project in countries where English is not well spoken?
Yeah, that's actually kind of critical. Like, we have 5 teams that we're launching with. So, we have those teams, for example, taking Talon, one of the largest teams in Hong Kong with presence in Thailand and Europe. They help us localize what we're doing and talk to their audiences in those markets. Boom Esports, one of Indonesia's largest esports team, is going to help us again localize what we're doing, to the Indonesian market. So, we will rely heavily on our partners to support those efforts, in non-English speaking countries. Our intent is to make sure that we have the resources internally to be able to support that anywhere, where there's a fan base and user base.
Yeah, yes, true. Okay, partners are very important for the project, especially in the long term. Can you please list some of the partnerships of Yesports?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our 5 teams that we're starting with are, are probably the most interesting. Or I can see that you've pulled up our venture capital partners, so I can sort of knock them off the list now. We've got Polygon Studios, which is one of the largest sort of play to earn NFT investors in the space. They are pushing the Polygon ecosystem, or driving it rather, and we're sort of one of their centerpieces for what NFTs and gaming look like in that space. So incredibly exciting. Spartan Capital, a globally recognized venture fund. Alphabet, another globally recognized venture fund. We've got great exchange partners, MXC, ZipNext, for example. Terrific diversity in core crypto investors, so NGC, Kernel Ventures, YBB, GTA, Mosaic Capital. The list is there. It's not an Oscars. I don't need to run through it and thank everyone. But that's certainly there. And then I would say, our 5 teams, we've talked long and hard about, and certainly available on our website as well. But yeah, we encourage anyone who's interested to go have a look. And we have more teams and streamers and world-renowned gamers that are all joining us, and we'll announce those over the next couple of months as well.
Right. Question number 19. What motivated Yesports to collaborate with Mexi? How will this collaboration be useful in the long term?
Yeah, you guys have been one of our earliest or longest supporters, both personally and professionally. We've worked on DeFi projects. They've been extremely valuable for the users of those platforms. Extremely excited for what we're doing with you guys with Yesports, and look to replicate some of the success we've had previously in terms of introducing great new products to your users and having them be able to come and and interact and engage with our platform, and have a forum to be a really core pathway for, as I mentioned, those kind of crypto users to come in and see what we're up to, and vice versa.
Question number 20. What are the key milestones on your roadmap? Both things you have already achieved and things that we can look forward to.
Yeah, so I mean, starting from linear timeline, the next kind of thing that's going to go live is have a new site launching, in the next week or so. We've already announced the 5 core teams that have signed up, making us the sort of largest esports NFT platform out there. We've got a number of growth partners. So we've got 4 community growth partners that we're going to be announcing over the coming weeks. Those are platforms that have bought our token and are distributing it to their communities to bring them along with us on the journey. Obviously, we'll talk about the exchange listings and where people can actually start buying the token when the platform's live. We have some great IDO platforms, or now IEO platforms, that we'll announce too, and then we'll have the actual IDO, the date for that's going to be in April. Then we get into the actual product launches with the team. So we're aiming to have a cadence of NFT drops, at least monthly, with the teams we have, and continue to announce those new partners that we're bringing on as well. And then, by sort of end of Q2, we'll start taking our users on the journey into the Metaverse as well.
Okay, so this wraps it up for the 20 questions from the viewers to you, Sebastian. Yeah, basically, guys, if you saw one of your questions on the screen, that means you're the lucky winner and you can claim your reward by following the instructions down in the description box. Now, Sebastian, I would like to offer you to ask your 6 questions back to the community so they can earn additional rewards.
So thanks everyone for the great questions. The 6 that we chose are as follows, and excuse me as I look down to read them. First one is, what is Yesports? The second is, what are some of the features of the Yes token? Who are our esports partners? Who are our VC partners? Who is the target audience and how big is the market? And finally, where is esports built, or on what protocol is it built?
For your question, Sebastian, guys, if you feel like earning additional rewards, simply comment down below your answers. If they are correct, we will select the lucky winners and you would be able to earn additional rewards. Well, that wraps it up for today pretty much. Thank you once again for coming over to the interview. For anyone who's watching, make sure to subscribe, comment, share this video, and like. Sebastian, yes, you have a very interesting product, and I hope that we will have this conversation sometime again in the future.